Alright, today I'm going to give you guys a detailed look at this Iron Man 2 figure, and the figure I'm showing you guys is Mark V, and it is by Hot Toys. This is MMS 400 D18, and there's the box, the Iron Man Mark V. Alright, and here we have the figure outside the packaging, and let's go over the accessories first. This figure comes with a base, and then comes with a Tony Stark head sculpt right there, and then it comes with the briefcase, which I believe is the exact same one as the previous version, the plastic version of the Mark V. And then we have a couple of battle damage pieces. We have a shoulder pad, that's battle damage, and then 3 chest pieces. They're also battle damaged. And then we have the Whiplash chest piece. And then we have his left arm, completely battle damaged. And then here you can see an extra fist with battle damage on it. And then the pair of fists, repulsor blast hands, and then batteries, and a little screwdriver. So here is Mark V. I took the liberty of opening all the panels up so you guys could see what he looks like. So let me zoom in a little bit and focus on him. You can see shoulder pads on hinges, so you can lift them up to create that layer look. And then these chest panels right here, these panels could collapse inward. They are held on with hinges, 1, 2, and this one is this one doesn't move. These two moves, and these two as well. And then chest, this piece right here, it's on a hinge. Same thing with this side. Further down, these flaps up here on the hinges, same with the ones on the side. And then as for the legs, these are all on hinges. 1, 2, 3, 4 panels. And then these flaps can go up. Same with the front flap. And if I show it to you at an angle, you can see this front flap also lifts up. This as well. And then on the back, this piece lifts up. And then same with the calf piece, that one lifts up. And on the back side, these two pieces also on hinges. And nothing around the arms, nothing in the forearms or the bicep section. The butt plate, it's actually on a spring. This whole piece is actually on a spring. This whole butt piece. It's all around. And as for the arms, they could extend out. And just like that. So now it has a little butterfly joint where his arm could swing forward a little bit. And if you look at it from the back, you can see it actually swings out quite a bit. And this whole section has been swinged outward. So quite nice. And as for the torso, the chest area could extend out, and the abdominal section right here, you can also extend out. And just like that, he has a little more range of motion now. So he could bend forward and back quite a bit. And here's how far forward he could go. Quite a bit, actually. And here's how far he could arch back. Again, quite a bit. So as far as landing pose, I don't think he could achieve that, but he could kneel down quite a bit, so that's cool. So if you have Whiplash, you could kind of have them battling and pretty much recreate that scene from Iron Man 2. And here's another angle of him kneeling. And one thing I really like about the elbow joint is that it gives you more than 90 degrees now. If you can see, if I bend this elbow, you can see the biceps piece shifts up. And it gives you a little more than 90 degrees. Actually, yeah, quite a bit more than 90 degrees bend. You can straighten this back out and then just pump this piece back down. And there you go. Quite nice. Very cool. And I'll give you a good look at him just standing. With all the pieces back in place. Definitely has a bit more of a metallic paint to this one than the plastic one. I don't own that one anymore. I sold it to someone on eBay. And you can see the red, it has way more metallic look, and the silver, it's definitely way more metallic looking than what we got before. Because the previous version, that silver, all the silver parts look pretty much gray color than silver, but now it's definitely silver and not gray. Rotate him over here and go another look. And I believe the red is a little darker than the previous version, which I like. And as for the base, you can see it's just a piece of asphalt and nothing else from the racetrack, and yeah, that's it. And here's what the chest looks like without the pieces, the interchangeable pieces. Also, I'm going to turn them into battle damage form. Yeah, pretty cool arc reactor right there. Yeah. And here's a good look at the shoulder pad section, because I had to take it off in order to replace it with the battle damage version. You can see there are a couple of hinges attaching the shoulder pad onto the shoulder, and then there's a ball joint attached to torso, and then bicep, it's on a swivel joint. Alright, for anyone who's trying to pop this shoulder pad back on, I highly recommend removing the arm first. Pop that thing off, and then focus, there you go, and then you see that little ball joint there. I would have it bend all the way down, and then pop it in this way, and use your thumb to press against the ball joint towards the socket joint, and then just apply force to it, because otherwise that ball joint is going to keep flying off to the other side. Right now you can see how it's sitting all the way to the right side there, and it gives you a little more room for your thumb to go in, and then apply pressure to it so it could pop right in, because otherwise it's very hard to pop this ball joint into that socket there. So this is the way I would do it, removing the arm like this, and then rotating the ball joint all the way to the right, and then popping it in like this. Using your thumb, applying pressure, and yeah, you should be able to pop it in. Alright, and here we have Mark 5 and all the battle damage, in battle damage look. Here are all the pieces attached to him, mainly the arm, and then the rib cage pieces, the arc reactor piece, and then the shoulder pad on the other side, and that's it. I believe the previous version, the plastic version, also has a removable piece. This piece was removable. It also contains battle damage on it. The previous version, this whole section is all one piece, Now they divided it up into 3 separate sections. I guess because in the clean version, the clean version, this piece could actually lift up. There's a hinge there, but the battle damage version doesn't have it. I mean, this piece has a hinge on it, and this piece doesn't. So yeah, pretty nice. And I wish the helmet was a little more battle damage, or they could have given us a faceplate with battle damage on it. That would have been nice. But overall, I'm happy with it. But one thing I do want to say is that they really cheaped out on the base. They could have given us a better base for a diecast figure, because Mark 6 had a really nice base, while this one, it's only a square base. So yeah, they cheaped out on the base with this guy. And here's a nice little pose I gave the Mark 5, bending his arm, quite nice, battle damage arm. I think I'm going to keep him in battle damage form for a while before I switch him back to clean. Yeah, he looks pretty good this way. Yeah, quite nice. And this figure has amazing head articulation. Here he's looking straight, here he's looking down, and here he's looking up. And I'm not sure if you guys could see it when I focus this. Yeah, you can see kind of inside. There's a hinge joint there around the neck section, and then there's also a ball joint up there somewhere. It's hard to see, but it is there. And then base of the neck, there's also another ball joint. Alright, and here's the Robert Downey Jr. head sculpt that we got with this figure. Quite nice. Good range of motion as well. Neck and the head in separate pieces. You can see there's a seam line right there, so he could actually look up and down quite a bit. And as far as likeness, let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see. Likeness is there. It's definitely Robert Downey Jr. I love that battle damage on this cheekbone there. Quite nice. It doesn't look like blood too. But one thing I wish they did, instead of giving us the head sculpt, I wish they came with the helmet with the face mask on it, so you could really recreate that scene of him putting on the suit, the Mark 5 suit. Just want you guys to see the detailing on this figure. It's quite nice. Look at that spine. It's done beautifully. It's really, really good. And he looks quite layered up, even the thigh area. Thigh section, you can see it looks quite layered, even though there aren't a whole lot of moving parts or anything. There's a look from the front. I love that battle damage hand there. You can see the tracksuit underneath. Kind of cool. And this time around, I wish the briefcase would have been done differently. Maybe where it could actually open up so you guys can see the inner workings of it. That would be nice, but they didn't. It's I believe this is the exact same briefcase as the original Mark 5. just a different paint job, and I think that's it. And let me do a size comparison. Alright, so here's a comparison between the Diecast Mark V and the Diecast Mark VI. And you can see the Mark V, it's almost as same size as the Mark VI, which I don't think is correct. I believe the Mark V, since it's a briefcase suit, it should be a little tight form-fitting, and it should have less armor look to it than the Mark VI. So he should be way skinnier and even a little bit shorter. But to me, they both look very similar. You can see the biceps. They're pretty much the same. Forearms, pretty much the same. The torso maybe a little skinnier, the Mark V, but everything else look pretty much the same. I would imagine if he has a briefcase armor, since that one is on the go, it should be a little skinnier. The material might be a little thinner, so it's a little bit more form-fitting, but instead they are pretty much the same size. Bulkiness wise, yeah, they're pretty much the same size. So I believe the plastic version is a little skinnier and a little smaller, so that I like about the plastic version. So at the end of the day, how do I feel about this figure? It's quite amazing, a really good looking figure. There are a few minor details that I wish they added, they've given us. Would be a better base, because this one is quite cheap for a die-cast piece. And instead of giving us something that, with the clamp that wraps around his waist, they gave us this, the generic base, where it lifts the crotch. And I don't know how sturdy that thing is, because it's not really grabbing onto anything. So if this guy were to topple over, it's gonna be a mess, because die-cast is heavier than plastic, and with that, I don't think it could lift him up properly. And another thing I wish they did was a better briefcase. This is nice, but we already seen it. Could have gotten something a little different, something that could open up. And then as for the head sculpt, that's also nice, but I wish it came with a helmet with an open face mask, where you could see to recreate that transformation scene. Because what's the point of having these open panels? Because you want to recreate that armor attaching onto him scene. So basically one scene this guy was in, and during that scene his head wasn't really being seen much. Instead, I think the most memorable section was when the helmet was coming down. So I wish we have gotten a helmet with the face mask that could actually come down. That would have been nice. And there you have it. There's the Mark V from Hot Toys. Thanks for watching.